Alrighty, lumberjacks, welcome back to another episode of FDR Logging, because that is who we are and that's what we're doing. I was running around before I started recording and I was trying to remember what the hell we were doing last time. Like, what are we doing? And I was like, right. So we were going to attempt to use this winch on the back of this forwarder to pull down the pull down some of these trees. We're gonna, I mean, it's a winch, why not, right? We can do whatever we want. Sky's the limit. So we're gonna do this and test it out, and then maybe we'll drag it down to this group. What's my winch button? This one? There we go. Okay, so what I'd like to do is kind of drag it down to this group. This is an interesting way to skid. I've never done skidding with a forwarder, but you know what? Why not? Alright, so winch that up a bit. Now, I don't know how long these lines will go. That's the real question. Is how far can I stretch these lines out? Let's try here. Ooh, just kind of right on the limit, hey? Have to get it closer. Okay, you know what? We can come back for that. We're just going to drag this down the hill a bit. We'll get it kind of... Well, it doesn't have to be super close. We'll just go for it. And I kind of want to drag it down here, and we'll see what happens. This is good because I get some winch testing in, so it all works out. And I'm going to bring it kind of right alongside. I should move this truck, actually, too. Got everything in the wrong place here. Let's back this up if I can. It's a B train, so that may or may not happen. Sure, that looks great. Park it on an L. Park it on an L. So today's subject. What is today's subject? Today's subject. What was I going to talk about? I forgot. I had things and I can't remember them. Ooh, I remember. Okay. So this is an interesting thing. Actually, let's go a little bit further. Let's just bring it right down to the flat here. So here's an interesting thing. I had a bit of an argument. Let's call it a mutual disagreement with somebody online. So I posted a comment, which I don't normally do. I'm not a Facebook person, and like I don't follow Facebook stuff. I don't really do anything on there anymore. But occasionally I'll just scroll through and I'll see short videos or posts, and I'm like, oh, that's neat, especially if it's related to like logging stuff. Actually, I'll start at this pile here. Actually, you know what I'll do? Pull this. Oops. Jeez. RB. There we go. So what I came across a post that was talking about simulated logging, right? Simulators and heavy equipment. Let's call it that. It wasn't just logging. It was some mining, construction related stuff. And this guy had posted a comment about how simulators are basically the sin of the world, and you'll never learn how to operate a machine properly in a simulator. And you know me, I was like, well, damn, son, I'm like walking proof that that isn't true. So I commented, I said, well, I mean, there's some things in simulators that are maybe not quite obviously like real life. There's certain things you got to learn, but I said simulators are absolutely a great start for getting people on equipment, getting them learning the controls, practicing, getting those movements, getting all that stuff. And like I said, my example is that's how I got into logging. That's how I got into operating heavy equipment. I started playing this game, and then, you know, it got me into running heavy equipment, you know, excavators, skid steers, button tops, you name it, all from playing this game. Otherwise, there's probably no chance in the world that I would have ever operated heavy equipment. And when I started running heavy equipment, the first time I ran a button top, the very first time, they thought I was joking when I told them I'd never run one before. They thought I was pulling their leg because I actually had the controls down so accurately that when I went to run it, I was trying not to giggle the whole time because I was just like, well, one, I was really excited to be running a real piece of equipment that big, and I was like, damn, like, this is actually very similar to the game. Obviously, there's lots of nuances that are different in real life, you know, like the motion of the machine and the shakiness and the, you know, how fast and stuff you move. But, I mean, honestly, it was pretty darn close. So, from that point on, I was definitely a believer in simulation as a great starting point for people. So anybody who wants to have that, anyway, the guy was just having an argument about it and didn't want to give it up. Thought it was stupid, and we had a little back and forth and came to a agree to disagree kind of end to it. But his whole argument is, oh, if you never get in the bush, if you never get out there, you're never going to learn. Learning on simulators is so stupid. You guys are all clowns. And anyway, he just sounded like a not super down to earth on the whole technology kind of guy. So we just left that where it was. But that being said, it was very interesting to hear that side of things. And I thought to myself, man, well, you know what? That'd make a very interesting topic point. So yeah, some guys out there don't think it's a good idea. I think simulation is great. And you want to talk about it from a company perspective. I mean, think how much money you save as a company putting a completely new guy in a simulator where he can smash and bash and play around to get the controls right, as opposed to dropping him in some $500,000 button top or machine, right? You can get him to learn the fundamentals of the controls and then apply that to the actual real life operating when he gets there. Now, that being said, I don't believe it's the only way. Like, obviously you can't just go take a guy in simulation training and then instantly throw him out into a production block or a production area and expect him to be perfect. I think a combination of the two is definitely, obviously, I mean, needed. I mean, you need to get some experience out in the bush and on the actual real equipment before you can actually get out into the job and actually doing it full time and rocking, right? Oh, I don't have a blade on this thing. Oh, that'll be the one failure point here. That's okay. You know what? I'll just check it up with that L-Tech there. Let's go park this somewhere yonder. Actually, I'll park it like around here because then I can load up what's on the ground here and trek it over. But yeah, I think a combination of the two. I don't think simulator only. Like, that wasn't my point I was trying to make to the guy that obviously, oh yeah, throw a guy in a simulator for 2 weeks and then poof, he's good to go. Throw him out into the field in some full production job. Like, no. But I think it's an absolutely great starting point for guys. Especially, I mean, if you're using the dual joystick stuff, right? Especially like doing this. If you can get a setup and you're practicing on dual joysticks. Here's an example. Friend of mine, Mithras Catalyst. He was one of the guys who made maps on console, a good friend of mine. And we play video games together and stuff. And he was playing, we all used to play Euro Truck Simulator. And then he played American Truck Simulator. And he had the full setup with the wheel and the pedals and the whole goodness. And guess what he's doing now? He is driving those trucks. He got his CDL and he's driving big trucks now. Big semi-trucks. And I bet you a lot of that experience in his simulators heavily applies to what he's doing. And do I say all of it? No. But I say I bet a lot of it does. You know? So when I hear that argument, I mean, and there's some things in simulators I'm sure you can pick up bad habits, but you know what? You can pick up bad habits in real life and wreck stuff too. So I think it's important that you have a good instructor, a good trainer who's there through the whole process. So if you're learning on simulators, you need an instructor at least to be checking in on you. If you were to take, I bet you if you were to take a guy new off the street, never run equipment before, maybe plays video games, has at least a basic hand-eye coordination, and throw him in simulators for, say, 2 weeks, 5 to 8 hours a day, versus a guy who would be thrown into another machine straight up. One, you're saving money on fuel. You're saving money on potential damage. You're saving transportation costs to bring that guy out there to do all that stuff. I think it's pretty viable. And I mean, he's going to get the hand and eye movements. And then when he gets in a real machine, then he'll need less time to do it. I'm not saying it negates the fact that you can throw a guy in a machine and do the same thing, but I mean, if you can get somebody started. The other thing that I see in simulation that I'm really I'm really all about is it gets people interested in the field. If I have so many emails, I don't want to say hundreds because that sounds like lots. It's got to be up there though. Like, there's a lot that I've gotten from guys that have literally started playing this game and now work in logging or work in construction. And I've had thank yous from people saying, oh, you know what, it was because of your mods that got us into this, that I got into this field, and I absolutely love it. And now I'm running this. I've had guys send me pictures of the equipment they run now because of how excited they were. Right? And like I said, it's not hundreds of people that have sent me that, but the fact that we've got people interested in logging because of this simulation game is super cool. We're promoting logging, and I absolutely love that. So it works. And I don't think there's a lot of people that have logical brains out there that would argue against simulation being a good thing. I mean, if you really want to go that far and you want to get that crazy, I mean, look at doctors. They have like simulation programs for doctors, like surgery simulation. They use VR, really advanced VR stuff in training surgeons for doing simulations of heart transplants and stuff like that. Is it as good as real life? Probably not, but man, it's sure an easier way to test out your abilities without killing a patient, right? So, and I mean, there's driving simulator, everything. Simulation is crazy. Pilots, I mean, you want to look at, like, go look at the aviation side of the simulation world. Video games with pilots having their whole airplane cockpits built into their computer rooms because they want to get that experience. And then I've heard stories of guys that went from playing like DCS, digital combat simulator games, to going and flying real airplanes and combat planes and going into the military, and like, it's crazy. But I think simulation gets people behind the feeling of it to see if they really want to do it. And when they love it so much and they want to do it, you give them the opportunity, these guys will go, yeah, I'm in. That's what I did. I played this for so long. I'm like, man, I could do this. I bet I could do this. I bet I could do this. And then one day I got the opportunity. Somebody was like, hey, do you want to come run this machine? And I'm like, well, yeah, of course. And I was a little bit nervous about it at first and really excited and just all of the feelings. And look at me now. Now I'm operating all kinds of crap in real life and in this game still. So yeah, I am a all-star supporter of simulation, getting people interested in fields where normally they might not be. And I'm sure you guys out there have seen variations of that yourself. You know, whether it's somebody you knew or something you heard about. But I mean, I have videos on YouTube here of me operating button tops, unloading trucks, loading trailers, doing all that stuff. None of that would be a thing if it wasn't for my time and dedication and playing in this game. I guarantee it. I would have been too scared. I wouldn't even know what the hell I was doing. That's why I push to try to get the physics as close as possible so that people can kind of get a feeling for it. And again, it's never going to be like real life exactly, but man, we're pretty close. And the more time I spend operating in this game and in real life, I realize certain things and change things and play around, as you guys well know from my history of never stopping changing things. But yeah, it's good. It's good times to be had by all. So I hope you guys aren't like the guy that I had the agree to disagree conversation with. But he appeared to be an older gentleman. And I don't think a lot of the older generations, and I don't want to say all of them because there's lots of guys out there that are older and smart. I feel like a lot of the older tech savvy maybe guys are promoting that because they just, I don't know, they kind of get like this manly thing. Obviously in heavy equipment, construction, logging, whatever, there's the whole like manly man vibe. Everybody's manly man, alpha male attitude, whatever, right? And the more operators that I meet, I realize it's like, man, those guys are kind of disappearing now. Like, I've met a lot of the younger guys that operate equipment, and they're just like the chillest dudes, and they're so calm and so nice. And you're like, wow. And you meet some of the older guys from like, used to log back in like the, early 90s, and they're just like, you guys are a bunch of pussies. And you're just like, all right, well, cool, man. Like, you don't have to be like that. We can all still do our jobs. But, if you don't If you don't act like that, you're just not manly enough. So I like the concept of, you know, the whole male vibe thing where it's all like, you know, hey, you know, men and warriors, and kind of like, you know, it's cool, you know, I'm all about that, you know, having men and their testosterone and being all manly and stuff. But, you know, when they get to the point where it's like, oh yeah, well, you have to do this or you're not manly, and it's like, you know, if you haven't rolled your machine yet, you're not a real man. If you haven't broke a whatever, like, what? Sounds like you're just a shitty operator, actually, but okay. It's pretty funny. Pretty wild. But I don't know. It's like, do a good job. Don't beat the shit out of your machine. Look after stuff. Don't be a dick. I think that's pretty much the fundamentals of operators to me. 'Cause I've met some really, really good people, and I've met some absolute pieces of human garbage. And yeah, it's interesting the different combinations you get. But those are the kind of people that will argue against things like simulators because they go, oh no, those are crap, those are garbage. It's like, well, just because you don't understand it or you don't know how it works, you've never tried it or not willing to try it, that's kind of an on you thing, not really on everybody else. But I've had tons of friends over to my house, even both operators and non-operators, and I've put them into this. I've had my own wife play this game, and like, she was looking at maybe being an operator herself one day when she was a few years ago now. She didn't, but she got on here, was playing around with it, operating processors, moving stuff around, and yeah, like, you can get into this kind of stuff, and it's like I said, with all the friends and stuff that have come over, they love it. I haven't had anybody go, oh, this is stupid, this is not how it is in real life. It's like, well, of course it's not real life, it's a game, it's not perfect, but it's a great start. It's a great start. But there are lots of simulations out there, and I mean, if you really want to get crazy about it, I mean, look how many companies have simulators now. So obviously these companies, unlike some of the people you argue with on the internet about simulation, obviously they're getting behind it as well. I mean, you look at companies like Tiger Cat, John Deere, Caterpillar, they all have simulation programs for their machines now, right? Like, they all have their own in-house simulation platforms, right, that they work with and use. And so, I mean, obviously, if they're getting behind it, these multi-billion-dollar companies are getting behind it. Sorry to say it, but the old boomer concept of can't learn in a simulator is kind of debunked, I would say, just a little bit. Oops, which one did we get? Oh, we got the right one. We got a lot of wood down here. I gotta remember these are 6s too. The other ones are 5s. I mean, I can mix match them on the truck. I don't think it's really gonna matter, but I think I'm gonna start working on a quad trailer. I have an idea for one. I hate talking about stuff that I might make, but I think I know how I can make it so that it works well, I think. So if you see one pop up, you'll know this is when the video was when I was thinking about making it. Quad trailers are pretty hefty though. We're gonna have some fun with that. Or it'll be a complete nightmare and I'll be really mad at it like some mods, but it's just one of those, who knows. It's gonna be one way or the other. There's no in between. And what we could do, so I could either drive the truck around and just load from these piles, or I could try to forward some of that wood to their own piles. I think it'd probably be best to leave that other wood where it is, and then just, after I'm done with this pile, I think I might just go start decking it up here. And then when we're done on this hill, we're going to keep moving up the hill where that other button top is, and I don't really have a plan here for the next section. So I'm just going to keep bunching up the hill, and we'll keep loading off the corners, I guess, and the processor will follow and make little piles, and we'll just wing it, man. Wing it logging. And we got 2 more of these little guys here. Stuck. In real life, that stick would have broke, but apparently that's not a thing. But yeah, anyway, what's your guys' opinions on simulators? Obviously, you're watching this episode, so if you're watching this episode, you're probably pretty into it. You're pretty all about it. But I just can't believe there's people that are against it. It seems kind of crazy to me. Eventually, we're going to walk this up that hill. That'll be a long... Or maybe I'll just speed run it up there. So yeah, all this stuff, I think the 6s started here. Yeah, these are still 5s, 5s, 6s, those are 5s. So maybe what I'll do is I'm going to load up the 5s on here. So I would have backed up. So 5s, 5s, 6s, 6s, and then these were all 6s as well. So really, we don't have a lot of 5s left then. We just got this little pile right here, and that's it. So let's load that onto the back of this guy. Oh, I love these grapples, man. So smooth now. Okay, there we go. Bloop. We have a little bit from here and a little bit from there. I think those are... Oh, maybe these are 6s. No, those are 6s, eh? Oh yeah, those are definitely 6s. I thought those were 5s. Maybe I just had this tiny little pile of 5s then. In which case, I'll park these... I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I could just mix them here. I don't think it really matters at this point, but... So what I'm going to do with the 6s is I'm just going to line them up on this little road section here. And then we got a little pile over there and a little pile over there. And then we'll do is pull these ones forward. Yeah, these ones. Oop. There we go. And we'll just keep throwing it all forward here. Just the gentlest little touch. There we go. And then at least it'll all kind of be in one area. I'm going to do the same with that other side too, or I'll just bring them up just a little bit. And these are the larger ones, and then I put all the short ones at the back. It's kind of a mixed bag here. But yeah, good old simulators, hey, frick, love it. And obviously I'm biased because I'm pretty for simulators, being someone who creates mods for it, but you know. No, I think it's beneficial. I would love to do that as a challenge. Take just like a random person off the street and train them to operate in a simulator and then put them in a machine to see how it goes. I bet you. I don't think they'd need a whole lot of guidance really either. Maybe a little bit, but not as much as one would think. I think you could probably pull it off. And that goes for all of you potential operator or wannabe operators out there that are thinking about it. Don't think about it, do it. Get out there. If I always have this scenario in my head of like right now my jobs are very stable. It's the only thing about logging that's kind of sketch sometimes is it's not the most stable job. You can have up seasons, down seasons. You have things like tariffs that affect it, mill closures, whatever, you know, there's all these things that just kind of come out. The weather has to be just kind of right for it. There's just all kinds of things that can happen to affect the job market for it. But I always have this scenario in my head of well, these kind of look like 5s. Are these 5s? Sorry, interrupted myself here. I bet you these are. Yeah, and I bet you these are too. Because these ones right here look shorter. Okay, so these have got to be 5s. Yeah, they are. And then some of these are 5s, some of these are 6s. Where's the split? Let's see here. Probably at the bottom. Yeah, so everything on the bottom. Oh, that's a pretty good roll. I think I got a couple 5s in there, to be honest, but... Okay, we're going to move this over to the 6 pile. Because I don't care about the 6s mixing. Sometimes the 5s don't mix well with the 6s, though, if you're loading the short bunks. Let's go this way a little bit. I think I'm running into stumps or something here. Catching the ground on something here. Could be my tracks. There we go. There's definitely a few 5s in there, but you know what? We're just going to roll with that. Oop. Little tree right here. And then these are all 5s as well. And then I'll just stack these up. And then next episode, when we come in, we will pile all these onto that forwarder. I'm just trying to keep all the 5s in one spot. And I think I'll just go direct from that forwarder onto the truck. Just load them in. Oops. Oh, well, those weren't supposed to go down like that. But you know what? That's okay because we have that beautiful forwarder over there. And we will load it through. Let's see if we can give this just a little bit of a butt here. Those little ones just have minds of their own. They just kind of do whatever they want to do, and you just get what you get out of that. What is going on? What am I hopping on here? Oh, I'm parked on top of a log or something, I think. Yep, just a little bit of a log park there. It's all good. Don't park on top of logs. Apparently that's the good way to survive. Just need a little beater board on there. All right, yeah, we'll leave it at that. That's a lot of wood down for now. So we got, like I said, we got these two piles. We got 6s over here, 6s over there, 5s on there, 5s here. We'll load up those 5s onto that forwarder, and then we'll load straight from that forwarder onto that truck. Or I guess we could pull the truck up if we really don't want to be lazy. We can pull it off. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. So hopefully you guys learned a whole bunch of stuff about forwarders. A whole bunch of stuff about simulators. And defend them. Defend them. If people argue that simulators are dumb, go defend them and argue back because I think they're worth arguing for. All right, guys, we're going to leave it at that, and we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.